welcome to another special edition of Education Matters, Conversations on School Security. With me is the Police Chief of Maple Shade, Chief Gary Gubbie. And Gary, you're also the President of the New Jersey Association Chiefs of Police. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're going to talk today about the role of the Class 3 officer. That's something that our association, I know your association also lobbied for. What is a Class 3 police officer?
The Class 3 police officer is an officer that's basically a police officer assigned to the schools.
Okay, but there are different requirements. It's not like an SRO. It's a different officer. It's usually a retired police.
Yes, you could be 65 or younger, retired. You'll do a psychological review, and you fall under basically, for Maple Shade, under my powers as being the police chief. They'll train. They'll qualify, they'll go through the rules and regulations of the police department.
So the reason I know the two associations looked at as a possible option for some school districts is that the Class 3 officer is a little bit less, isn't as costly as a SRO. It's not a full-time police officer, it's a part-time. And how do you work that, the part-time hours? How does that work?
Well, the part-time hours, it's strictly, you split up a couple people to work into your school system. They'll work through the various schools, whether they're assigned to a school or they're traveling back and forth between all the schools that you have. Like on us, we have a high school and 3 elementary schools, so they would rotate around in the schools there.
And the Class 3 officer, and you said it, and this is important to, I think, the local police departments, is it answers to and is trained by the local police department, so that if there's an active shooter, they answer to you, and the people there, you know that they have a gun.
Correct. But the nice thing is they train with our officers. Our officers know who that is. If something were to happen, an active shooter situation, they're going to know how our officers are going to respond to that location to deal with the threat. And that person, unlike somebody else who's not trained under the police department, they would have no clue what's going to happen when the police arrive at the location.
So it's important to your association that the people that are armed in the school building are under your jurisdiction.
100%.
Okay, and what's any other advantage you see to a Class 3 officer for a school district and municipality?
Well, the other part of it is too, they know the laws and they can engage with the students, the faculty, staff, the police officers, and it just builds up a greater relationship than a private security company coming from somebody being traveled, rotated through day in and day out.
Their training is, they're retired, so they're seasoned. It's not even like a newer cop. They're very experienced.
Very experienced, yes, 100%. And they still constantly go through training while they're in that. They're going to be going through all our mandatory and service training and our active shooter drills that we do.
Okay. Thank you. I'd like to thank Chief Gubbie once again for joining us on this series on Conversations on School Security.